Online reviews. Man, they're everywhere, right? This constant stream of feedback from customers, some happy, some, well, not so happy. And we're always told to engage, to respond, to manage our online reputation. But what if the way we've been taught to do it is just wrong? That really is the big question, isn't it? Are you spending all this time replying to comments and actually helping your business? Or could you just maybe be hurting it? Because it might feel productive to answer every single person, but the data tells a totally different and, frankly, much more surprising story. All right, let's get into it. So, to get a handle on this, we're going to look at a world most of us know pretty well, the world of hotels and TripAdvisor. I mean, with over 350 million people on there every month, the stakes are incredibly high, and you can be sure that what works here has lessons for just about any business out there. And look, we're not just guessing here. This isn't an opinion piece. Our guide for all this is a really deep study from Cornell University. They dug into a ton of data from thousands of hotels to figure out what actually works and what doesn't. Okay, so before we even get to the whole responding part, the study uncovered a huge first step that a lot of businesses just flat out miss. And honestly, it's so simple, it's almost funny. So check this out. This is a before and after for hotels that actually started asking people for reviews. Yeah, their overall score went up a bit, and the percent of positive reviews ticked up too. But whoa, look at that number in the middle. That's the real story. That number represents the review volume. Basically, hotels that just started asking for feedback saw their number of reviews more than double compared to their competitors. It's a massive, massive jump. It just goes to show, right? If you don't ask, you probably won't get. And this wasn't just about getting more reviews for the sake of it. All that new feedback had a real impact. It bumped the average hotel up 4 whole spots in the rankings. And you know what that means? More eyeballs, more clicks, and more customers. All right, so we've established that asking for reviews is a no-brainer. But that brings us to the real heart of the matter. What happens when you start replying to them? Does it actually do anything for your business's performance? Well, the short answer is yes, absolutely. The researchers found a clear, direct link between management responses and revenue. Responding equals more money. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? It's not about how many reviews you respond to. It's about how smart you are about it. And this is where things get really, really interesting. This is probably the biggest plot twist in the entire study, a finding I like to call the Goldilocks rule of responding to reviews. Not too little, not too much, but just right. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What's the magic number? Should you respond to 10% of reviews, 80%, all of them? Well, believe it or not, the Cornell researchers actually found a specific data-backed number. And here it is. This chart tells the whole story. You can see that revenue goes up as you respond to more reviews. It climbs and climbs, but only up to a point. That peak, the absolute sweet spot for making the most money, is right around a 40% response rate. Any more than that, and look what happens. Revenue actually starts to go down. So, if you're responding to less than 40%, you're just leaving money on the table. But here's the wild part. If you go over that 40%, you start seeing diminishing returns. In fact, get this. The study shows that responding to nearly every single review is worse for your revenue than responding to none at all. How crazy is that? And this chart just perfectly shows the disconnect between the data and what people are actually doing. You see 2 giant spikes here, right? There's one group of hotels responding to almost 0 reviews, and another huge group responding to nearly 100% of them. Basically, most businesses are living at the extremes, which, as we just saw, are the 2 worst places to be. Okay, so we've got our magic number, 40%. But that leads to the final piece of the puzzle. 40% of which reviews? Should you focus on the 5-star raves or the 1-star rants? Well, the data has a very clear answer on this one too. You have got to see these numbers. Look at this breakdown. When hotels responded to all of their negative reviews, their scores got a nice little boost of over 1.5%. But look what happened when they responded to all of the positive reviews. Their score actually dropped by almost 2.5%. It was actually hurting them. And the researchers themselves called this out. It seems that while potential customers really appreciate seeing problems get addressed publicly, they might get turned off by scrolling through endless copy and pasted "thank you so much" messages, you know? It can come across as kind of fake or robotic. So, after all that data, what's the bottom line? What are we supposed to do with all this? Well, we can actually distill everything we've learned into a simple 4-step playbook for a much smarter review strategy. Here it is, your new game plan. Step 1, just ask. You gotta encourage people to leave reviews in the first place. Step 2, aim for that 40% Goldilocks zone. Don't waste your time trying to answer everyone. Step 3, prioritize the negative. Focus your energy where it actually solves problems and shows you care. And finally, step 4, be selective with the positive reviews. Just avoid those generic, repetitive thank yous. So you see, this isn't just about managing a reputation or doing damage control. This is a real, data-driven strategy for growing your business. The data gives you the blueprint. The only question left is, what story will your review page tell tomorrow?